message is for all women like me and all those who love and support women like me. Um, Today, I don't know when I'm going to end up uploading this, but today's Mother's Day. Uh, I know it's just all out of order, but for any moms out there, you have a very special, particular job, and I pray that you feel loved and cared for today. Um, I pray that you allow the Lord to guide you in your parenting and make sure that you're doing what He's assigned for you to do with them babies, okay? And when they're not babies anymore, what I really mean as far as spiritually, when they know the Lord, when they get to know the Lord themselves, when you lay that foundation, that groundwork for them, let them be. Let the Lord, let the Lord take His babies. Okay, I felt that really strong for any single mothers that may come across my message. Let the Lord take them babies. Okay, you may be referred to as a single mother, but they have a parent, they have a heavenly Father that should be helping you if you let Him to do everything that He needs to do with them kids. Much more powerful and meaningful than anything that you could ever do, or their dad could ever do, or their village. However many people pouring into them, make sure you allowing the Lord, giving Him space to handle His children that He loves. He takes care of these children. Anyway, y'all, part of this season has been so interesting for me because part of my submission with my channel here, which I'm not gonna say I have a love-hate relationship with my channel, but Lord, this obedience, child. Like, I'm just gonna keep posting, Lord. I'm gonna keep posting. I know it's purposeful. I know He's using my channel and planting seeds for something. Otherwise, He wouldn't keep me put messages on. But sometimes it can be a little discouraging when I see that I don't have much audience to be feeding. And but in due time, y'all, in due time. Just keep moving forward. Anyway, what I was going to say about this season being very interesting is the fact that with my channel, I have explained to y'all that the Lord has told me to start taking notes. So sometimes, like, I'll get things and I'll see things and I'll hear Him tell me certain things and show me certain things throughout a matter of days, or it could just be an overnight thing too as well. That when I'm speaking with the Lord, I'm speaking to Him about what I need to do with the stuff that He called my attention to. And sometimes I know it's for a word, and sometimes I'm like, okay, Lord, what to do with this? But when it's for a word and it's a lot of different stuff, I'm like, Lord, how does this all fit in one word together? It seems real scattered sometimes. I'm like, what am I gonna put a title on this? You telling me to talk about this, that, and this. So there's your warning. In this message, I'm gonna be talking about this, that, and this. But I think it's to teach me to become more reliant upon Him. Like, He knows that I'm a planner. He knows that I like to see things written down in front of me and like follow along with outlines and things like that. And, even planning with my business, I feel like when things are structured properly, I don't have to think. Like, things flow more effortlessly. Everything has been thought about beforehand and planned out, and I just have to execute. And the Lord is like, no, that's you depending on yourself still. He's like, these are my words I'm putting out. You need to depend on me. If this is what you put in submission, then allow me to show up when you need me to show up. He's like, I'm the one that's having you do this. So trust me that when you open your mouth, your words are going to be right. Even if the stuff that I've shown you thus far seems scattered and seems like you don't have all the pieces, you're not supposed to have all the pieces. That's a word. So, but anyway, so we're going to be jumping from this, that, and this today. So I'll start here. When I was fully awake and everything, going on about my business this morning and what I needed to do at the beginning of the day today, I was just thinking back about the whole chip tooth thing. And, there have been other times in my walk with the Lord that I have experienced things physically, like in real life physically, that the Lord was trying to tell me. Some people hear from the Lord auditorily, and they've said that, and that's not how He speaks to me. Though He can and will speak to people that way, He definitely can. Some people, they are able to discern what are their thoughts and what's being sent as a thought from Him. I'm going to just preface this by saying, because I always say this is a relationship walk. If you're not in full submission and obedience to the Lord, you don't know what thought and what voice, and you'll have a hard time knowing the difference. Okay, so right now, if you're listening to this and you ain't up under God like that, you ain't submitted upon Him like that, you haven't literally given your whole life in dependency and covering and surrendered and said yes to everything to Him yet, and started walking in that and spending time with Him to be able to hear what it sounds like when He's speaking to you, then please don't take this and run with it. You just aren't there yet. Because I have to say that, because when you have open doors to the enemy, or if you just don't know what his voice sounds like for real, some of these thoughts, you just might be like, oh, that was the Lord. These ideas, or what you may perceive, you may feel like, oh, that must have been God. And that can get you into an issue if it's not him. If you haven't learned how to confirm that it is him, then it's going to take more relationship work. It's going to take more surrender. But again, if you have other open doors where the enemy can't have access to you, and I've explained all of that so many times, but if that's the case, then I wouldn't be relying on any of these voices, child. Because it's hard for you to even know what, it's hard for you to even try to confirm. It's literally an open door is an open door. That means anybody can come in. So, like, I just had to say all of that. But in my explanation, some people will perceive a thought and they will know it wasn't theirs, and they don't have open doors to the enemy or nothing. So it wasn't the enemy. And they know it's the Lord telling them something, giving them insight, giving them instructions, something like that. Well, the Lord has only spoken to me where I heard auditorily 3 times. I share with you guys different seasons. He comes to me a different way, so I don't make him a formula, because apparently I have the tendency to idolize whichever way he's coming to me, and feeling like, oh, that's where I'm always find him. And anytime I have a question, or just I feel like I want to connect to him, I'll go to that thing, and that's not how he wants me to interact with him. So in a season, it was directly from the word of the Lord in the Bible. In a season, he was speaking to me heavily through my dreams. In another season, he was speaking to me heavily through prayer and meditation. In some seasons, it's a combination of all things. The Lord speaks to me through things that I put my attention to, which the things that I would normally have my attention to is whatever I'm watching with the television or music. And then there's YouTube. He sends me things through sermons in church and outside of church on YouTube. And he also sends me, can speak to me through certain videos on here. And when I'm saying speak to, it's not all godly instructions. Sometimes it's help. I don't know. Sometimes it just seems like it'd be like, hey, I'm here. Honestly, like, just to connect. And I'm making it sound so personal, like it's an actual person, but that's the thing. We don't remember that he's an actual person. We don't remember that because we can't see him. And so when I say just to connect, like, I'm here, a reminder that he hears me. He knows my thoughts. Everything I'm watching, he's watching too. He's listening to the things that's in my heart, my needs. He's in my tomorrow before I even get there. So one example, yesterday, I'm sure I would have posted a video by now, by the time I posted this one, but I was watching House of Pain, and the mom, Cassie Davis, her real name, I don't know her name on the show because I don't watch House of Pain. I was just led to watch it yesterday. 2 episodes, both about relationships, which helped me develop a word. Some of it I put in my previous word about relationships. Some of it I'll be speaking about today, I think. Lord, I think. But anyway, part of one of the episodes was they were canning fruit and meat. That wasn't anything that I was really paying attention to, but in my mind, I was wondering about the meat because I never heard of that before. She said that it was going to smoke us some meat and they could leave it in the shed for some months. And that part, listen, I'm alone. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not saying this stuff out loud because some people get so skeptical about, like, oh, God be hearing people like that, but he does. Oh, God be showing up like that, but he's everywhere. But anyway, so I was thinking, I was like, I never heard of people like storing meat like that. I didn't know. And then I'm like, oh, I guess jerky is one of them things that don't spoil when people make jerky, but I never thought of it like that. I'm like, you can put meat in a can and it can stay edible for months. I didn't know that. So today I'm on YouTube, and I just scroll on my feed just a little bit, and there was some instructions, a video of somebody instructing how to preserve meat in cans today. And again, like, coincidences don't exist. They don't. But that's another way. That was just an example, but that's another way that the Lord has shown me over time. Like, I'm listening. I am here. Yeah, that's a really good song by Commission. I might put it in the comments. But so I feel like I want to sing some of that song. Like, I'm just being moved. There's one part, and I don't want to mess the lyrics up. Why do you insist on loving me from a distance? I don't care if y'all think I can sing it. No, I just love singing. And if I'm moved to do it, I'm going to do it. But anyway, that song is about, and I feel like I've posted it before, but that song is about coming closer to the Lord. Like, it's spoken in his first person point of view from him. Seek my face while I still might be found. Like, I am here. I am here for you. I'm right here waiting. If you love R&B, like, I don't went off on a whole tangent, but listen, It's like a fusion. It's like R&B meet gospel, like that. And I think that they did it well. But anyway, yeah, it's like the Lord is here for you. That's what the song is saying. I'm here. If you really see and listen to the words, a lot of Christians be in a space where it's like, again, I'm like, if you're supposed to be on a, if it's a 4-point road, you're supposed to get down, and Jesus is the goal at the fourth point, and he's at the end. That's the full realization of him. We get stuck on point 1 and 2. We don't get that depth of relationship. And, until the Lord sends me my real best friend for life, the one that I'm going to be married to, he is my best friend for life right now. And I truly feel like that. I truly feel like he is here. And I get so kind of sad when I really think about why are we in this space. So many people end up in a space where they never realize that full depth of relationship that they can have with the Lord. He is not an invisible person. Yeah, literally invisible. You're not seeing him, but he exists, and the relationship that you can have with him is so solid and fulfilling. And I hope my word of choice don't make you cringe, but like juicy, because like you ever bite into like a juicy mango? Like, it's like that. It is like that. It's delicious. It's delicious. Anyway, so shoot, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh, how the Lord speaks. Okay, so if you are maybe stuck in feeling like he's only speaking to you in certain ways, and you want him to, and you kind of want more because more feels more stable and certain to you. I don't know. I just feel like, ask, seek, and knock. We take our mouth for granted because we don't open it up and use it enough and ask for him. Like, that's what I would say. Lord, I don't feel like I hear you as clearly as I want to, and I desire more clarity. Can you please show up to me in a way that I know is you? Help me hear you better. That's what I would ask him for. And, I used to like long for the Lord to just, what, Lord, I won't be scared. Because I used to feel like I would be scared if I just heard his voice talking to me. But it got to a point where I would get frustrated. And the Lord has shown me that that's part of my thorn in my side. What's going to keep me at his feet is the fact that I can't hear him as clearly as I would like to. And what is it? It's the glory of kings to search out a matter. I might not be saying that right, but he requires for me to be at his feet, for me to understand stuff, because he knows I desire to hear him. He knows that I have that desire. I desire instruction. I desire insight, and I understand that he'll provide it for me. But it's almost like if he provided it the way that I want it, it will cause me to not be as intentional as he needs for me to be in our relationship with each other. So I have to do these things. I have to wake up every day just with an open ear. I have to be intentional like that. Looking for him in any way that he can come to me, and then doing the work to figure out and put the pieces together. You know how he confirmed that to me one day? This stuff be wild. It's like I've accumulated like a zillion stories in the last year about what me and the Lord be doing. Our adventures, child. I don't know. But there was a movie, and if I can like pull it up, if I remember what it's called, I will post it right here. There was this movie that he led me to watch. It might sound like I watch a lot of TV, y'all, but I truly don't. The most TV I get to watching is when I turn it on when I get in the bed, or in the evening after I've spent the entire day, either if I'm working in the kitchen, with my business, or if I'm studying, doing whatever it is he wanted me to do at the top part of my day. But during this time, I was spending a whole lot of time in like a bubble with just me and him. If you watch it, you will see a clear picture of, he was showing me like, this is you. That's how, whatever insight, information, revelation, I got to work for it. It don't just come to me. I have to work for it. And it's pieces that have to be put together. It's stuff that he'll have me like studying certain things. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I just say all of this to say, someone listening might be desiring more or wanting to hear more. And the Lord is faithful to do that, but you have to be certain that you're keeping your awareness open to how he's coming to you. And like don't brush anything off just because you might be seeing how he is speaking to someone else. It may be helpful for you to see a big picture of, oh, he speaks to people in many ways, but it might have nothing to do with how he wants to speak to you. So back to the auditory hearing though, there was like 3 or 4 times that's happened to me, and they've never been in his voice, because honestly, I say I wouldn't be scared, but I think I probably would. But they've always been in my voice, if this is gonna sound right, but in my voice, very loud, very serious, and like stern sounding. The only times he came to me in that way. The first time was because I was freaking out and about something. I had been asleep and I woke up. The words were, "Don't worry, it's a scare tactic." And it was loud and it was stern, and I knew it wasn't me. It was just like my voice, like, "Don't worry, it's a scare tactic." Like, but very loud, okay? Another time, there was something else. I won't share that one. Another time was when I was listening to him and I was hearing stuff, but I had been applying everything that I was hearing to me. This was like mostly in dreams when he started speaking to me through dreams a lot more. The words were, "Everything is not about you." Very loud, very stern, very much not me. But you know that voice that you think with in your head that like to you it sounds like it must be your voice, your thoughts. It was like that, but again, it was different. But and then the most recent one wasn't loud and stern. The word was stop. It was instruction. It was stop. And but anyway, I don't know. I'm hoping this will help somebody who is working out that hearing from the Lord part, but he does want to speak to you and he wants to speak to you in a way that he wants to speak to you. So just more, even if you already hear from him, he wants to speak to you more. So just, I would say go into prayer, just ask the Lord, I want clarity. I desire clarity. I want to be able to hear you. I don't want to miss anything. Help me. Help me see how you're coming to me in this season. Help me to see what I need to put my attention on so that I can hear you clearly in whatever it is that you're trying to tell me. Um, sincerely, he'll show you. He'll give you answers in some way. The sermons and just everything else is great, but yeah, some people have the pleasure of hearing the Lord directly and audibly. And congratulations if that's you, child. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But anyway, moving on. So this morning, I was just reflecting upon the fact that sometimes the Lord has me physically go through something in order to hear what he's trying to say. And I was just like, Lord, the whole chip tooth thing was crazy, Lord. Can you please not come to me like that next time? Because it was a lot. It was a lot. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's in one of my most recent videos. But and then it made me think it was kind of rough the way that he would handle some of these prophets, y'all. But part of me feeling people or having physical, invisible, and natural burdens and figuring out what the Lord is saying, reminded me of something else. The Lord showed me, like, okay, I don't know where y'all at with witchcraft attacks and stuff. I don't know where y'all are at. Meaning, is that too much for you right now or not? Are you at a level of spirituality? I'm not talking about New Age. I'm talking about we are spiritual beings. Our spirituality and our Christianity is directly connected. There are things in the Bible that speak to a lot of spiritual things that the church just brushes past and doesn't teach us about. So, Holy Spirit teaches us. One of them is witchcraft. So, my pastor a few months ago had made a statement. Some people are so locked in with the Lord that people be trying to come up against them and they don't even know it. And I'm talking about witchcraft attempts, harming them through the spiritual realm. If you don't believe witchcraft is real, you are in for a shocking surprise. If you don't think that people can affect you doing certain ritualistic things, it's just not true. And a lot of people think, oh, if I don't believe this stuff, it won't affect me. Also not true. The only way that these things won't affect you is just take a wild guess. Living a life in full submission. You have no open doors for it to have access to affect you. You don't have any sin doors open. You don't have any bloodline doors open. You don't have any rebellion doors open. You don't have any covenantal doors open. Like, you are fully covered in submission, and the Lord is covering everything from where nothing can affect you. None of the enemy's stuff can actually harm you. So the thing about it though also is that let me see how I want to say this. You will have people who have worked in witchcraft explain that when they attempt to do a thing with somebody in the spirit, they can tell who is actually in full submission and walking upright with God and who's not, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It won't work. That yeah, come on, Fred Hammond. Because that's what I thought of this morning. So when I was thinking about all of this, and I'll get back to what my pastor said in just one moment. When I was thinking about all this, I'm like, okay, chip tooth, like, and then it made me start thinking about other things that have occurred within the last year or so, where it was just like, the Lord had been telling me that somebody was trying to come up against me in the spirit. And again, depending on where y'all at with this witchcraft stuff and spirituality, how spiritually mature you are right now, you might feel like I'm talking crazy. I'm not. Hey, guess what? Back in like 2023, me then looking at me now, I am talking crazy, but me having been through and learned what I have learned today, I'm talking with the most sense that I've ever spoken in. One thing that has to do with it is how sheltered you are in your region. Sometimes that can affect your understanding and your acceptance of things with spirituality. Living here in Jacksonville, Florida, we don't have all of that stuff out in the open where it's like, oh, I don't even know where to find like fortune readers. I think I remember seeing somebody like a palm reader sign in a certain place where like that stuff is not visible. People working in the occult and working in doing spiritual and demonic practices is not visible. But there are other regions of the United States where that stuff like you see it. But someone who is from Jacksonville who don't see that stuff like that, it's more so I can just never mind that. Like, I feel like it's not real. I feel like I don't believe in it. If I never knew anybody, if I didn't have any family members that, because some of these things come from when I talk about regional, other places in the world, like in the Caribbean spaces, like we all know this, in Africa, like this is daily stuff. And like they know, they've maybe done some things. They know some family members who have done these things. They accept and understand more because it's part of their culture. And so like when it's not part of your culture, it's easy to like brush it off as that stuff isn't real. But it is. And I just felt like I had to say all of that. But anyway, when you're not a target for witchcraft or the enemy using people, because it's never the people. We wrestle against not flesh and blood, and the scripture right here, but it's never the people. It's always an agent of the enemy, these unclean spirits. Most people do have open doors to the enemy. Most people are not walking in full alignment with the Lord. Most people are able to be used by the enemy, and that's just the truth. So let's take you, person who is walking upright with the Lord or trying to, and maybe you have found your Christ identity. The Lord has shown you who you are and what you are meant to do in the body of Christ. If you are somebody who has like a heavy mantle, that you're anointed for something important, which would then lead other people to Christ. You didn't know it, but the enemy has been trying to come against you your whole life and keep you on a path of misalignment. But when you finally actually get into alignment, the enemy is not going to then stop. He is going to try harder and send more, we just call them agents of the enemy, to try to distract, stop, and allow for the Lord's will to not be done. One way that he can do that is by using somebody that has some type of connection to you and influencing them to basically become a spiritual enemy of yours, to come up against you. Using a vessel that has an open door to him, and is usually somebody who has history in demonic practices or is in covenant with maybe organizations and things that are outside of God, which means that they have something else that they're agreement to and covering them in the spirit that's not of God, using these vessels to do things. And one way that they'll influence the person to do it is, okay, well, these people are not covered with the hand of the Lord over them anyway, unless the Lord was using his grace to protect them for his benefit. But let me send a spirit of envy to this person. Let me send a spirit of greed. Let me send a spirit of just, I don't know, it just be chaos to this person so that they will be motivated to try to come up against you. So going back to, just, that's what spiritual warfare is, y'all. And just, somebody just said this yesterday that I was listening to. Spiritual warfare is not ever initiated from the demonic person. It's usually not. It's initiated from the person in Christ. Because when a person in Christ starts to walk in their calling, they're coming against the dark forces. Gosh, I just know how crazy this sounds to people who are not spiritually mature. Because it used to be me. But I'm going to keep talking. When you're in alignment with the Lord, you are trying to bring other people to Christ. You are an enemy to the enemy. And when you are actually being obedient and doing whatever assignments the Lord has you doing, even if it's just praying a certain thing, the Lord led you to pray something, or you're not calling attention from the kingdom of darkness unto yourself. It's making you a target, but the Lord knows that you're a target, but you're covered by him, so it's okay that you're a target. As long as you understand what spiritual warfare is and how to fight against these things in the spirit, and continue to stay covered by the Lord, it cannot hurt you. They cannot affect you. But here's the thing, the Lord, this is how your faith grows in the Lord. Again, back to the Fred Hammond song, and which is actually a Bible verse. Yeah, like the Lord will show you that people are trying, like that is trying, like they're trying. You don't have to feel paranoid. It's not paranoia. When the Lord is showing you what's going on of things that you can't see, again, the Lord does not want us to be blind out here, but it's our duty to be in close enough relationship with him for him to open up and tell us everything and for us to actually hear it. So Yeah, when the Lord is telling you this stuff is happening, it's to prepare you and help to keep you aware and safe, and also strengthen your faith in Him, like that you are being covered in this battle. I got you. Yeah, this happened to you, but again, like everybody always does, follow up with this. He never said the weapon went formed. The weapon formed, and sometimes He allows for something to affect you so that you can confirm that the weapon formed. And it's not just, oh, I'm just thinking that. It's not paranoia. Like, this happened, and the Lord is showing you, okay, this thing happened because somebody is trying to send whatever to you in the spirit. They're trying to harm you, or make misfortune for you, or make your life harder, or they're trying to stop your finances, or they're trying, like, they could be trying to do a lot of stuff. Agents of the enemy, or vessels that the enemy can use to, again, stop you from walking in purpose and doing and fulfilling what the Lord wants you to do. So He will show you by allowing you to, let's say, get brushed by a bullet. I'm just using that figuratively. The Lord's like, see, but I let you know. I did that to show you, like, they're still trying. They're still trying. I did that to show you that the enemy is still, that he's relentless. But I got you, because that enemy, if you weren't covered by me, it wouldn't have just grazed your shoulder. It would have hit you in your chest. So the Lord has allowed some things to affect me until I was able to discern, okay, oh, that's why that happened. Well, thank you, Lord. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put something in the comments that has to go with this. It's a Pastor Mike Jr. word that I heard recently. It was actually, I heard it today, but it fits. It fits so well with this, because the Lord is fighting your battles and you don't even realize it. The audacity to doubt, for people to doubt how good the Lord is. The audacity. The Lord will stand up, like, in a complete paint for His children. And I can't stand when people be like, God don't play about me, God don't play about me, because it just sounds so stupid sometimes. But yeah, it's kind of like that when you're actually in alignment with Him, and you get a revelation of the ways that the enemy is trying to mess you up, is trying to sabotage you. So yeah, this morning made me think about that. But back to what my pastor was saying, it was months ago, and he was just like, how blessed you are. It's some people that the enemy is trying to throw everything at you right now, and you have no idea. You don't even know. Completely oblivious, because the Lord is covering you so much. And He really spoke to it in the sense of, there are enemies of people trying to come against you, which are actually people being used as vessels for the enemy, trying to send all of this stuff, this destruction your way in different ways, and you're oblivious. You don't even know it. And that hit me in my chest. I knew that was Holy Spirit speaking to me. I knew it, and I just started crying. I hate crying in public. I hate crying in church. But thank you, Lord. And sometimes these tears just be so much, just tears of just, His love is so complete when you love Him back. Anyway, so I was just reminded of that this morning. The weapons will form, and the Lord sometimes will show you, like, will allow you to get hit, but He won't allow it to actually harm you. He won't allow it to defeat you. Being protected is still protected, right? If the next day you don't even remember that you were affected by it, it didn't prosper. It did not do what it was intended to do, even if you felt it. That's how the Lord protects you. God would do what He said He would do. Now that we got that out the way, there is another part of the message. Is what I mean by jumping around. I knew I was gonna have to talk about this too. The Lord woke me up this morning, and this ain't making sense to me, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna say I ignored it the other day, but when I did see House of Pain the other day, what I've been referring to, something came on that I never saw after that, and I'm gonna show a clip of it here, because it was very pertinent to the stuff that the Lord had been talking to me about, and it's not about me personally. I knew I just needed to go ahead and record it. Y'all, I cannot make this up, y'all. He moved them out the way for you. It wasn't meant to hurt you. They were blocking your blessings. This is crazy. Y'all, I just finished recording my my video. Not too long ago. And I came in here in my room, and I'm trying to listen. That's why I keep stopping. Oh, that belt is cute. I've never seen this show before in my life. I told y'all House of Pain was on. I had paused it. When I finished recording my video, I came back in here, and this is what came on next, the Sisandra show, which I know nothing about. It's on BET Her. They was talking about women and soft life living. And y'all, the Lord is so good when you be listening for him to talk to you. Somebody need to hear this. All right. Also, after that went off, something else, another show I never heard of came on. And the topic that they were talking about reminded me of something that came on House of Pain, which also reminded me of something else that I had seen. I don't know, it might have been like on the Voice Court. I promise you, it sounds like I just be watching TV all day. I do not. This be the bedtime stuff, and then sometimes I be waking up in the morning and seeing stuff, and the Lord be drawing my attention to it, y'all. But anyway, the theme of it all had to do with seeing somebody out. Yeah, I was a Voice Court. Being out, or a friend, or somebody that you know, seeing your significant other out with somebody else. Keisha Knight Pulliam plays on that show. It was something about catching the guy that she was dating out with somebody else. On the Voice Court, one of the people was talking about, oh, somebody saw you out on a date with somebody else, and then that was supposed to be her boyfriend. Somebody that she know, like, they had got caught out together. So basically he was cheating on her, taking somebody out on a date. Somebody else out on a date. And the topic on the show that had came on next was about, if you saw your friend or somebody that you were close to, if you saw their significant other out on a date with somebody else, what would you do? Would you tell them? Would you keep it to yourself? Like, how would you handle that? And so that was just a topic that people were chiming in their opinion about. So I'm like, okay, Lord, when I notice something is reoccurring coming up, I'm like, okay, what, Lord, do you want me to talk about this? The answer was yes, but I have no clue what he want me to say about it, but I've said it. I'm going to move on from that into this. Since I'm now speaking about a relationship type of topic, here's one thing that the Lord, just in case you're not sure, like when you're waiting on a spouse from the Lord, we shouldn't be just trying to get in relationships. We should be allowing the Lord to align us with the person that he wants us to be with if we are called to be married, and then serve the world through our marriage in whatever way that the Lord will call us to do that. Okay? If that is what the Lord purposes for us, we should be looking forward to him aligning us with someone that he selected for us to do that with. Or trusting that he will match us up with his best intended match for us. Okay? So in saying that, during the preparation stage, some of the things that he will be doing is, which I've spoken about on another message, not only just helping you clean yourself up and prepare you, but when you actually hear from the Lord and you have an ear to him, he's able to show you things about your spouse. And it's not all like, oh, you need to know this so that this don't go wrong. You need to know this so that you're not this type of person. Some of it do have stuff to do with that, but some of it is just the Lord sharing his secrets with you. That's a benefit of having a father that you allow space to speak to you. He just be telling you stuff that you ain't asked, but it's because he know it and he loves you and he wants, like, it's a gift. It's like him giving you a gift, like, here, child that I love, here, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna let you get to know your person in this way. Your person likes this, your person does this. Giving you just little stuff about your person that is helpful. And that's even if you know who your person is, or even if you don't. And I would say this, even in marriage, he will continue to talk to you. If you are currently married and you guys are in alignment with the Lord, that man and that woman is going to be getting intel from the Lord. How do you keep your spouse happy? Some things is not just, oh, this person knows me so well. Some things is like, the Lord has given you cheat codes because he wants y'all to be happy in marriage. The Lord will make you privy to things that you want or that you can benefit from, information that you can benefit from. And I think that's wonderful. I had to share that because it occurred to me as something when I was thinking about it the other day. It's not just, oh, let me fix you. It's also, oh, let me tell you about your person. This is the kind of stuff you need to know, or this is the kind of stuff I would like for you to know, or at least have a conscious of mind about concerning your person. And he could be bringing that information to you in many different ways. So, don't box God into how he might be showing you information about your person.
3 reasons you're not ready for marriage. Number one, you still got secrets. If you are literally keeping secrets, not sharing passcodes, keeping secret emails, keeping secret accounts, you're not ready for marriage, because marriage has to be based on trust. And you don't trust somebody if you keeping stuff from them. Number two, y'all not ready for marriage. Why? Because you still want your old life. What? If you need and want a new life, you have to give up your old life. And a lot of people ain't ready for marriage because you want to keep all the same people, all the same habits, all the same time frames of doing things and be with somebody. Nah, marriage takes sacrifice. Write that down, write that down. Third reason I know you're not ready to be married is because you haven't figured out how to love yourself. And you can only love them to the measure you love yourself. And this season is about preparation. This is why you're not ready. Come get ready. Let me help you.
So I have an appreciation for Pastor Mike Todd. I believe what happened is I did an audio version of a book that he wrote some years ago called Relationship Goals. And after I read it, I know I have a physical copy of it because I said, man, this book has so many gems of what I wish I would have known when I was like a 15-year-old. And so I bought the book and I kept it in mind for some godly advice about relationships that I wanted to make sure that I did pass on to my daughter when she became about 15, 16. Things that, you know, if she's not going to be involved with personally, she will be involved with people who are involved with these things personally. And the worst thing you can do is leave children or just uninformed people amongst each other to try to help inform each other. Not a good idea. So I know people have whatever they have to say about Pastor Mike Todd. But anyway, like I said, I do have appreciation of that. If you are a parent and you have a child, whether it be girl, male or female, and they're a teenager and you don't want them out here, you would hope for them to not be out here having just getting lost in fornication, then I would suggest you first read the book, because honestly, some of the stuff that I read was good for me at the age that I read it, and I was in my 30s, especially if you are a single person or just anybody. Honestly, anybody. But the reason why I say read the book first before you give it to a child is so that you can be aware of what kind of stuff is in there, and so that you can put on your filter of my child ain't ready for this, my child don't need this, maybe in a couple years, whatever. But highly recommended. Relationship Goals by Mike Todd. Anyway, so the stuff that he just had to say, I came across that yesterday, which one of the things that he had to say was like directly connected to something else that was brought to my attention about passcodes and stuff, and secret accounts and stuff like that, little sneaky stuff. People tend to have those type of behaviors coming into relationships, even if they don't think that, oh, I can't trust this person, but I'm gonna be sneaky anyway, or even if I don't have nothing to hide, this is how I roll because of stuff that happened in the past. It's that past trauma backpack of me allowing my past behaviors to dictate my future behaviors with somebody who hasn't earned that type of distrust or whatever. So I do feel like what works for your relationship works for your relationship. That whole secret account stuff, y'all, come on. We know that's not it. Okay, people can, because I read a few of the comments, people can justify, just like the person what I saw on the episode of Divorce Court, that's what it was, where the topic came up the first time I saw it. People can justify the whole locking your phone thing. The man was like, yeah, the reason why I have a passcode on my phone is because I lost my phone in the past and I had a bunch of personal client information and stuff in my phone, and luckily whoever found my phone, it was somebody I knew and they returned my phone, but for a minute I thought I had lost my phone forever, and then whoever found my phone would have access to the things that was in my phone. Sounds good. But even in that situation, well, if you're not keeping your, because let's face it, y'all, everybody life is in their phone. It just is. Everyone's life is in their phone. And feel how you want to feel about it. But if you are intentionally hiding, like my partner can't have access to that, it is about trust. It is just about trust. But when you marry somebody, the two are supposed to be one. Y'all are supposed to be that connected. Like, it should be at a place where, again, it's not that it's not a question of whether you trust them or not. It's, do you trust God with this? Did God bring y'all together? Do you trust God to know whether that you can let your guards down with this person or not? If y'all are truly submitted under God and truly living this marriage thing out as being partners of one flesh, like me and you are one. There's nothing somebody can say to you that they can't say to me. Yes, there can be personal conversations that you might have in confidence with people. They don't, your spouse don't have to know every little thing. And you know what? They shouldn't want to know, because like I be feeling like my mind be so inundated with other information that I don't want to know stuff. I don't want to know stuff I don't need to know, or that you don't actually want to share with me. But it's just it's the intention of it all. If your intention is no, there's stuff in there that I want to be able to essentially hide. I don't want to use that word because it sounds a little bit harsher, but that might be just what it is. I want to be able to have a place where I can hide things. Then that's an issue, and you need to check your heart about that. And you need to ask the Lord what to do with that. Because if the password is to keep strangers out, then your spouse would know your password, right? So the person's cop out explanation didn't even make sense. No, you gave a passcode that your spouse doesn't know. So your intention is to keep her out too. But yeah, people in the comments was like, oh, it's invasion of privacy and all whatever. But all kinds of people be in these comments. So you don't know where their mind frame is coming from. You don't know where their past experiences are coming from when they're making their opinions about stuff. But I do know that when you are submitted to the Lord and the Lord is in your marriage and He's leading your marriage, you're submitted to your spouse too. So I just leave that there and let y'all ponder on it. His second point, when he was talking about you're not ready for marriage because you want your old life. Here's the first thing. All of this still go back to submission to the Lord, because once you become fully submitted to the Lord, you don't have your old life no more anyway. So if you still grasping straws, trying to hold on to your old life, fighting with Jesus about your old life, you're not ready for marriage. Because by the time you're done doing all of that, you would have been transformed into what the Lord would have prepared you to be, who you need to be in this season. And if the season requires marriage, all of that old stuff about people you wanted to be with and hang with, and things that you thought was going to be and part of your old life, and things that you liked before when you were single and not married to the person that the Lord has for you, all of that stuff will be gone. But the holding on to it and not submitting to the Lord's instructions, because He'll show and tell you what you need to let go of. You have to listen to Him. The not listening, the not obeying His instructions causes stagnancy, and it causes you to not be prepared. So the Lord knows what part of you, of your pre-married to His person, can stay and what parts need to go. Are you submitted to that? And then the third reason about loving yourself, oh yeah, that takes one-on-one spending time with the Lord, so that He can show you how He sees you, and then so that you can create yourself to be the person that He sees. And that being alone in your own skin with your Lord, and Him healing those parts of you that you don't like, and transforming those parts of you that you also don't like, it takes a work of surrender. It takes a work of I trust you. It takes time for the Lord to create in you a new person. All of these things are transformative when you actually surrender to the Lord. So yeah, those things are necessary to prepare you for marriage. Because if you, the Bible tells you, especially if you're a man of God, to love your spouse as you love yourself. But some people don't even love themselves. And I gotta say this, because one of my previous videos, I went through and I spoke about what I went through in my marriage and what made me miserable. And then when I made a statement, I made a statement saying that he didn't have the capacity to do the things that I needed for him to be happy in that marriage, happy with our relationship, to be fulfilled in it. He didn't even have the capacity himself. That goes back to that. That goes back to that. How can you love your spouse as you love yourself if you don't even have the appropriate love for yourself? And the Bible explains what love is. If you're not loving yourself in a way that Christ tells you to love, you can't love the next person in that way either. You don't have the capacity. It's just like you don't have it. It's like muscle memory. It's like you can't do it. You can't do it. You got to give it to God. He'll help you. He'll help you find your way through that. All right, y'all. That's the end of this message. That is all that I got. Again, I felt like it was all over the place, but that's what the Lord wanted me to speak about today. So until next time.